from the station working for you. This is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It is 5 o'clock here on your Thursday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey.
Good morning. I'm Rafael Sanchez, and these are your headlines on this November the 19th.
Whether you're looking at a holiday celebration or a wedding, be willing to make the hard choices now to protect the people that you love.
The call to keep your distance from people not in your household this holiday season. This morning, the latest guidance from state health officials as the pandemic continues to surge.
Getting creative to stay open. How one local restaurant owner is shifting operations as we head into these winter months. 5 o'clock here, and we want to thank you for joining our team on Good Morning Indiana. Rafael, I see you remembered how to tie a tie. You've got the vest on. You look good this morning.
So a week from today will be Thanksgiving, so I'm getting all gussied up, getting ready for the big day. I thought I'd plan ahead, a week ahead, you know, got the oven on, got some treats, Todd Clausen, the weather forecast, what's going on today. I'm ready.
You know what you can't see on Raphael is his sweatpants that he's wearing because Thanksgiving is coming and all the food he's going
Wait a minute.
Going to eat. No, you're good, you're good.
Pants, no pants.
Oh, he has real dress pants on.
I'm preparing too, Raphael, don't worry. You're not on your own. Yeah, it's going to be a windy day for us here this afternoon as winds are really going to start to kick up. And a wind advisory is posted. I'll show you that in just a second. But the temperature is not too bad this morning as you get going. 47 in Indy, 52 in Lafayette, 48 in Bloomington. And you see the winds right now are only anywhere from 8 to 16 miles per hour. We are going to double and even triple those numbers later on this afternoon. Here is that wind advisory for almost all of Indiana, just a couple counties down there near Cincinnati that are not under the wind advisory. As far as rain goes, there'll be some clouds today, but it's going to be a dry day, and you can get out and about today. Temperatures are going to be nice and mild, but you're just, again, going to have to contend with those winds that kick up this afternoon to about 50 miles per hour. But look at this, temperatures all the way into the low to mid 60s, so temperatures are A-OK today, even this evening, because the wind is southerly. It's going to stay in the 50s. We'll talk more about specific winds hour by hour for you coming up in just a couple minutes, Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic as you're heading out the door this morning. Here's I-465, a view near Ditch Road up on the north side. Traffic here is pretty quiet, as you can see, traveling up to speed both eastbound and westbound. Just took a look at our map, and there's no issues to report around the metro area or central Indiana to really slow down your commute, so that's good news if you're heading out the door early. Coronavirus cases continue to remain high in the Hoosier state. This morning, health officials report more than 6,100 new cases of the virus. That's up from more than 600 the previous day. Since last Tuesday, Indiana has seen an average of just over 6,000 new COVID-19 cases a day. So far, more than 268,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. State health officials also report an additional 60 COVID-related deaths. To date, 4,830 Hoosiers have died with the coronavirus. As of this morning, 21 of our 92 counties in the state are in the red status. That means there's a high risk of community spread.
There will be more than 5,000 empty seats at Indiana Thanksgiving tables this year because of COVID-19. Let's all make those hard choices to prevent that number from growing so that Hoosier families are able to celebrate for years to come.
State health officials are doubling down, asking you to stay vigilant and take the necessary precautions as you head into the holiday season. Now, with Thanksgiving next week and the state's positivity rate still going up, state health officials want Hoosiers to celebrate responsibly, especially young people. State Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Box said the state is seeing an increase in the number of coronavirus cases in 18 to 30-year-olds. With college students heading home, Dr. Box had this message.
Behave as if you have COVID or have been exposed. When you get home, plan to spend those 14 days in quarantine, even in your own home. Wear a mask, even in your own home. Don't see your grandma or other elderly relatives until you complete that 14-day period without any symptoms. Use a separate bathroom if one is available. And please, don't head out to the bars or hang out with all the friends that you haven't seen for months. You need to keep those social bubbles small.
Dr. Box also urged college students to help support Indiana's COVID-19 response. In partnership with the Bowen Center, the state is looking for people to help with things like serving as substitute teachers or maybe registering people for antibody testing or making phone calls for contact tracing and even more. We have more information on how you can get involved right now on our website, the WRTV.com website.
Well, more promising news on a search to find a coronavirus vaccine. Pfizer now reporting its vaccine has a 95% effective rate with no safety concerns. Wednesday, an independent group monitoring the phase 3 clinical trial reported that the vaccine even proved effective in higher risk older adults. Pfizer plans to seek emergency FDA approval as soon as tomorrow. Moderna also announced similar success in their vaccine this week. They plan to file for FDA emergency use authorization later this month.
And Lauren, here at home, preparations are underway to distribute that vaccine. The state's chief medical officer wants you to know that the vaccines will be safe.
We want Hoosiers to know that no COVID vaccine will be distributed until it is deemed safe by federal regulators and our own state review committee. This vaccine has not been rushed. It has been developed off of work that has been ongoing for a decade.
Right now, there are about 50 hospitals prepared to administer the vaccine. That includes 5 pilot sites in Munster, Jeffersonville, Evansville, Fort Wayne, and right here in Indianapolis. Dr. Weaver also said when the vaccine becomes available, it will be first given to frontline healthcare workers.
New this morning, Avon High School students will move to virtual learning starting today. The school's principal says that 7 students tested positive for the coronavirus. The school also says it's experiencing high numbers of staff and student quarantines. As of now, the plan is to return to in-person learning on December 4th. In August, Avon High School had to switch to virtual learning after a similar spike in cases. As a reminder, all public and private schools in Marion County will switch to virtual learning by Monday, November 30th. Here's a look at when some of the public schools will make that change. As you can see, some already have transitioned. According to the order issued by the Marion County Public Health Department, schools must remain virtual until at least January 15th.
The owner of a local business says the pandemic has been quite the roller coaster. Our Nicole Griffin joins us live this morning with how he's getting an inside look at the challenges that many businesses are now facing to stay open. Nicole, good morning.
Raphael, good morning. I talked to the owner of Ash and Elm Cider Company, and she says if there was one word to explain 2020 so far, that word is chaotic. She says that is because there have been so many ups and downs this year, but she tells me one thing she is constantly thinking about when it comes to making tough decisions for her business is her staff members who have become like members of her family.
It's a very delicate balance and one that I find myself thinking about a lot.
Ash and Elm Cider Company is closing in on its 5-year anniversary, but 2020 has been the most difficult year so far, as it has been for many of us.
The hardest thing for us has been wanting to do right by both customers and our employees. And we're a business, so we don't want to put our business at risk, but we also don't want to put our people at risk.
Over the summer, owner Andrea Hamoya says her business survived from customers sitting on the patio, carry-out sales, and distributing their products to local restaurants and liquor stores. But as the weather gets cooler and coronavirus cases rise, the number of people coming into the Eastside Tap Room has decreased.
Trying to figure out, should we just close preemptively and be carry-out only? Can we do that? Can we sustain our business? Because why stay open if people aren't going to come? But also, you know, why close if we don't have to?
I actually heard about Ash and Elm a while ago at a festival, and my parents own Hog Molly Brewing Company in Columbus. We sell 3 of their ciders.
UIndy student Tessa Krempel was the first customer at Ash and Elm Wednesday afternoon. It's her effort to support another local business.
I mean, we have to be physically divided, but doesn't mean we have to be completely divided. And by supporting each other, we say, hey, we're going to get through this together.
Heading into the winter months, with January and February typically being the slowest of the year, Hamoya hopes to see more community support so she can keep her doors open and keep her staff employed through the holidays and into the new year.
We want you to feel safe, and so we're trying to adapt as a business so that people can still support us without, you know, feeling uncomfortable about what they're doing.
And coming up ahead at 5:30 this morning here on Good Morning Indiana, I'll show you how they hope a new service will help them get their ciders in the hands of their customers, why they hope this new service will help them get through those slow winter months. Working for you live this morning, Nicole Griffin, WRTV.
All right, thank you so much there, Nicole. You saw Nicole was standing there in her hair. The trees weren't really blowing around all that much as of yet. That'll be a different story later on this afternoon as these wind gusts are really going to start to pick up, and a wind advisory will go into effect starting at 10 a.m. this morning. By the noon hour, 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts. There could be some isolated 50 mile per hour gusts as well throughout the afternoon hours. By 5 p.m., we're still in that ballpark of 25 to 35 mile per hour wind gusts. And then once we get past 7 o'clock, that's when things should start to subside just a little bit as far as the wind goes. Here are the counties under the wind advisory, virtually all of them in this state, just a few down to the south not included. Not only is it going to be windy, there's a high fire danger today as well. So please control your burning or don't do it at all here throughout the day today with the wind, the warm temperatures, and also the very low humidity levels that we have. Temperature-wise, as the kids head off to school, 47. As they come home, it's nice and mild today as we climb all the way up into the low 60s.
Todd, thank you so much. This a regulation revolt, where the City County Council decided to reject a plan on how to pass out food and clothing right here in the Circle City. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on this Thursday, November the 19th.
Welcome back. It is 5:14. A proposal to change how groups distribute food and clothes to those who are facing hard times is no longer on the table. Proposal 291 would have required groups passing out food to register with the Office of Public Health and Safety. It would have also required groups to give 48 hours notice before an event. Opponents say the proposal created unnecessary hurdles.
In putting in this bureaucratic barrier makes it really intimidating for the average person to actually take action. I don't think Councilman Hart has any reason to be in this process. It's working fine the way it is. It doesn't need to be streamlined.
Councilman Mike Hart, the proposal's sponsor, said he didn't want to hurt anyone, but just to see a better process put into place.
I still think and I believe in the collaboration efforts behind it. We're still the right intentions. I'm not trying to harm anybody. I'm not trying to do anything negative. I want to see something different.
Councilman Hart says that one reason he wanted to put this proposal forward was to make sure those who need help are able to have access to all the resources Indianapolis has to offer. Councilors who voted against it suggested that they look for other ways to make sure residents are getting the support they need during the pandemic.
And Lauren, during that meeting, the coroner's office asked for more money than it needs for personal protective equipment. Here's what they had to say.
It has been a challenge for us. As you know, we are on the front lines. We're still going into homes, conducting those death investigations with people who are potentially infected with COVID. Our staff is working more than they've ever worked in the past to protect themselves and to protect our staff. So we are actually still in the office every single day performing autopsies and examinations and conducting investigations for all of Marion County.
So to put this all into perspective, the Marion County Coroner's Office is dealing with a spike in COVID deaths and a record number of homicides right here in Indianapolis. Lauren?
And Raphael, this morning, the Indiana Attorney General's office is urging you to apply for a chunk of a state settlement. Indiana won for the massive Equifax data breach. The Equifax data breach, remember, happened back in 2017 and resulted in countless Hoosiers becoming victims of identity theft. Many states sued Equifax over the breach, and Indiana won the largest settlement, $19.5 million. The last day for Hoosiers to file claims is December 16th, but Attorney General Hill says that Hoosiers should file their claims as soon as possible.
Anyone who was a resident of the state of Indiana between March of 2017 and July of 2017, we would encourage them to apply. They may or may not have been impacted, but most people don't really have any idea of whether they've been impacted or not. So once people apply, then our office would check the records to see if they would then qualify for recovery at that point. So best thing is, if you're a resident in the state of Indiana between March 2017 and July 2017, you've got nothing to lose by applying.
An estimated 4 million Hoosiers were likely impacted by the data breach. The breach compromised Social Security numbers, dates of birth, and addresses, and in some cases, driver's license numbers and credit card information. To file a claim, visit IndianaEquifaxClaims.com. At 5:17, let's get a look at our forecast on this Thursday. Todd, what can people expect?
Yeah, you want the good news first or the bad news first?
Oh, good.
All right, the good news is we're going up into the mid-60s here this afternoon, so it's going to be nice and mild. The trade-off, Lauren, is going to be the wind, as it is going to be extremely windy throughout the day today. In fact, the wind advisory will be in effect from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. later on this afternoon. Wind's not terrible here this morning, but it's going to pick up as the morning goes on. And then this afternoon, it's very windy, but mild, as we mentioned. And then this evening, the wind will start to calm down, especially once we get out of the advisory time frame. But it will still remain pretty breezy throughout the course of the evening hours. Here's your hour-by-hour breakdown of the wind gusts. These are not the sustained winds. These are the gusts that will happen from time to time. And they'll be up in the 30-mile-per-hour range here once we get past sunrise. As the sun comes up, it's going to help to fuel some of these wind gusts to get up there. And then look at these wind gusts mid-morning through early afternoon in the 50 to 55-mile-per-hour range. And then eventually, as we go into the evening hours, the winds will calm down just a little bit. Temperatures outside right now range from 38 in Richmond to 51 in Greencastle, 48 in Bloomington, 47 is the current temperature right now in Indy. So the mild start to the day. Yesterday we were in the 20s, we were in the 30s in many locations. So this morning it's much better shape out there, and you can see that we just have some lights there as you look at downtown Indianapolis. No visibility issues here this morning. Here's your temperature trend. We'll start to warm pretty quickly as the morning goes on, and by the noon hour we should be up right around 58 to 59 degrees across most of the area, with skies that'll be partly cloudy. We have a little bit of high thin cloud cover starting to stream into the area, but that is just about it. We will not see until most likely Saturday's any precipitation, and that is still well to our north. Highs today in great shape. 62 in Marion, 64 in Frankfort, Anderson 63, Petersburg about 65, Connorsville at 63, Shelbyville 65. Anytime you're in the mid-60s here in November, you're doing all right. These temperatures about 15 degrees above normal. 65 in Bloomington as well as Seymour. This evening, temperatures really don't cool off all that much. It's pretty pleasant, minus the breezy conditions, with temperatures in the mid-50s. And then tomorrow morning, you wake up to temperatures in the 40s and 50s, and that's going to set us up for another fairly mild day tomorrow. Partly cloudy skies, temperatures into the low 60s, and then we get to the weekend. Once we get to the weekend, Saturday, some showers enter the forecast late in the day, and then on Sunday, that's when the actual front comes through. Once that front comes through, a little better chance of rain, followed by, Lauren, cooler temperatures to start next week.
All right, Todd, thank you. Well, Delta is extending its social distancing policy and keeping middle seats open through at least March 2021. The company says it's now the only U.S. airline with that policy. Last month, Southwest announced it would stop blocking middle seats beginning December 1st in an effort to increase ticket sales. Several other airlines are also ending similar policies. Industry experts say that airlines feel empowered by new research. It found transmission rates of the coronavirus through the filtered air on an aircraft is low as long as passengers wear masks.
And so, Lauren, as more states are implementing stricter COVID-19 rules, the NFL is now following along as well. So starting Saturday, all teams will be placed under an intensive COVID protocol. That means masks will be mandatory at all times at team facilities, including during practice and in the weight rooms. Team meetings must be held virtually or in a large indoor space approved by the NFL. There will also be a limit put on time spent in the locker rooms.
Well, KFC is redesigning its restaurants for the coronavirus era. Coming up, a look at the new changes and when you'll see them in the Hoosier state.
A grassroots effort to provide a warm Thanksgiving meal to thousands of Hoosiers. Ahead, right here on Good Morning Indiana, how you can help feed those in need. You're watching WRTV.
Welcome back. It is 5:25. It looks like the Peanuts gang will once again be celebrating the holidays on TV. After all, Apple and PBS have inked a deal to show the beloved holiday specials on broadcast TV. The deal comes after Apple faced widespread backlash when it announced the holiday classics would air only on Apple TV Plus. Now you can watch A Charlie Brown Thanksgiving on Sunday, November 22nd, and A Charlie Brown Christmas will air on Sunday, December 13th. Both PBS showings will air commercial-free. The Peanuts holiday specials will also stream ad-free and in HD on Apple TV Plus. Whew, Raphael, that is good news.
Hey, by the way, Lauren, I was Charlie Brown in the High School Musical. We'll have to roll out that video someday. I'm just saying,
man, we got to dig that out.
Yeah, kind of talented. I also used to work at KFC, so look at this. So many things happening for me this morning. KFC has unveiled 2 new restaurant designs in this COVID-19 era, so check this out. Let me take you to Get a Bucket. This one emphasizes the chain's drive-thru. It features 2 lanes with one dedicated to mobile order pickups. The design also includes an outdoor seating area called the Colonel's Porch and smaller interior dining rooms. KFC says the new designs will be rolled out in 3 markets next year, including right here, Todd Clausen. Let's Get a Bucket in Indianapolis.
Hey, I love a good bucket. Crispy. I like the crispy, Raphael. All right.
I can make extra crispy. I can make extra. I'm just saying.
All right, that works too. That works too. All right, we're dealing with windy conditions today. That's by far the big headline today in the weather department. And the winds are just now starting to kick up in that 25 to 30 mile per hour wind gust. It's not sustained yet. These are just gusts. And as we go throughout the day, those wind gusts could get up to 50 miles per hour. And that's why we do have a wind advisory that is in place. But notice the temperatures. It's warm, relatively warm, I guess you can say, for this time of year, at least compared to what we've seen. 58 by the noon hour, with high temperatures today going up into the low 60s, about 10 to 15 degrees above normal. We'll talk more about the wind for you coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back. It is 5:30. A warmer Thursday will come with a trade-off. Meteorologist Todd Clausen is breaking down the latest in your storm team forecast.
Plus updates from Indiana health officials on the coronavirus pandemic. The services some hospitals are now putting on hold to handle the surge in patients.
And local businesses say the pandemic has been a roller coaster. This morning, how business owners are getting creative to keep their doors open. Good Morning Indiana continues now at 5:30.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Welcome to Good Morning Indiana on this Thursday, November the 19th. I'm Rafael Sanchez. As we continue to social distance, welcome to your official living room for WRTV here in Indianapolis. Todd and Lauren, good morning to you there in Studio A.
Yeah, good morning to you, Rafael. I can't believe it is Thursday, a week away from Thanksgiving. Where has the month gone, Todd?
You know, it's going by so quickly. I was just talking to one of my friends the other day. I was like, hey, remember when we took the kayaks down Fall Creek? That was
Right?
Memorial Day, and it feels like it was just a short time ago. And here we are at Thanksgiving and pushing towards Christmas really, really quick. All right, temperatures this morning are in the 40s and 50s across the area. Nice mild start for us. Yesterday we were in the 20s and 30s, so we're in better shape temperature-wise across the area this morning. But here's the trade-off, as Lauren mentioned just a few minutes ago. It's going to be the wind. Wind speeds already anywhere from about 8 to 20 miles per hour. These are the sustained winds, gust already up to near 30 miles per hour, and they will increase as the day goes on. And that's why the National Weather Service has issued this wind advisory for almost all of central Indiana from 10 a.m. To 5 p.m. This evening. So you'll definitely contend with some really, really strong wind gusts. You will not contend with any precipitation for the most part today. It'll be mostly sunny. There could be a few periods where there's a little more in the way of cloud cover. 58 already by the noon hour. 5 p.m. temperature 61. Our high in between the noon and 5 o'clock hour, as we should be topping off, Lauren, probably right around 63 to 64 degrees.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's get a look at traffic right now as you're heading out on the roads. Here's a look downtown, I-65 and I-70 at the North Split. Traffic is moving along smoothly. As you can see, no crashes to slow you down at this early hour. Raphael?
So, Lauren, new information this morning on the impact of COVID-19 on Hoosiers. The state reporting another day with more than 6,000 new cases. And that brings the total number of cases to 268,222. 60 new deaths were also confirmed, making November one of the deadliest months since the summer. 736 Hoosiers have died with the virus so far this month. That's 17 more than the total in the month of October. And here's a look at the updated case metrics for each of the counties. 21 counties are now in red, or the highest risk status. That's more than double the number from just last week. As a reminder, according to the statewide order, the colored categories designate the limit on social gatherings. Red counties have a limit of 25 people. Those in orange allow no more than 50 people.
State health officials warn that Indiana could face months more of surging cases, which have already started to overwhelm our hospitals. In Wednesday's press conference, some hospital executives say they're now postponing outpatient surgeries and screenings so that staffers can be reassigned to handle the increase in COVID patients.
Because we've had to redeploy caregivers to inpatient and critical care units, other areas such as surgery, endoscopy, our physician practices, have to delay patient care, which is never in the best interest of our patients. I'd say just imagine if your loved one had a preventative screening colonoscopy scheduled and that screening was postponed. What if your loved one had a growing tumor that could not be discovered for 2 to 3 months? Or imagine if your wife, your mother, your grandmother, or your daughter had to wait to see their physician to discuss a lump found in her breast. These challenges are real and are happening every day.
Well, state health officials also discussed preparations for when a COVID-19 vaccine is available. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Lindsay Weaver says right now 50 hospitals are ready to distribute the vaccine. Before it's distributed, a vaccine team will review the results and research to make sure that it's safe. At this point, Dr. Weaver says it will not be available for children.
The vaccine we expect to receive initially has only been tested in individuals 18 years and older, so it will not be available to children. However, Pfizer has expanded its trial to include children as young as 12, so we will be watching for additional research. We also don't know how long protection will last for those who receive the vaccine. That will take additional study from the manufacturers.
Well, Dr. Weaver says the vaccine will first be made available for frontline workers. Raphael?
WRTV Investigates Lauren is learning that COVID-19 testing sites and processing labs are seeing more delays and more backups. Indiana State Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Box addressed that very issue, saying that labs are struggling to keep up with the 60,000 tests a day. She says the state is looking to increase the number of labs to help ease that load. Dr. Box also says that some labs are dealing with shortages of the plastic materials needed to run the labs. Right now, the average wait time for COVID-19 results through IU Health is just over 2 days. However, some others are experiencing longer waits.
It is 5:36. Since March, business owners have been forced to constantly adjust to changes and new restrictions as the pandemic continues. This morning, our Nicole Griffin is live. She talked with the owner of a local cidery. And Nicole, you're getting insight on the heavy burden that these business owners have to make. Our hearts just go out to the small business owners at this time. What did they have to tell you?
Lauren, good morning. Well, the owner of Elm Cider Company tells me her employees have become like members of her family. So that means she's constantly worried about their health and safety. So when it comes to making those tough decisions like whether to stay open or go to carry out sales only, she's thinking about those folks who rely on her business to make a living.
I would never want someone to get hurt because of our company.
Since March, owner Andrea Hamoya of Elm Cider Company has been forced to make tough decisions that impact her staff and customers.
It was carryout only, it was shortened hours. We managed to make it through pretty well. We got some government assistance.
Since reopening over the summer and bringing back furloughed employees, Elm's tap room has remained at 50% capacity.
Because we haven't felt comfortable with it. Our staff hasn't felt comfortable. Like, honestly, we just worry more about our employees. You know, we care a lot about them. We've become a family over the last 5 years.
Carry-out sales and customers sitting on the patio have helped. But now with the weather cooling down and COVID-19 cases increasing, sales are down.
You know, with people not coming in to eat as much, and I don't blame them. I don't feel comfortable going into a restaurant and eating at the moment either. We are hoping that having some gift opportunities, some subscription services, some way you can still support a local business without having to physically be present there.
In an effort to adapt business during the pandemic, Ash and Elm is launching a cider subscription service. And on Black Friday, they're releasing all 12 ciders of the month in a special edition gift box.
So we're really hoping that that kind of bridges the gap. The worst months in this industry are January and February. So a lot of restaurants and businesses like ours depend on, having pretty solid sales through the end of December to kind of help you get through the January, February, March. So that's what we're hoping for.
And the owner also tells me that as those sales decrease in the tap room, she is seriously thinking about whether or not she should close back down and move to just carry out sales only. But she is hopeful that with new releases in the coming weeks, she can get through the holidays. Working for you live this morning, Nicole Griffin, WRTV.
Nicole, thank you so much. This is now an effort to help Hoosiers celebrate Thanksgiving with a warm meal. This is the 6th year that D. Ross has organized his No Family Will Starve giveaway for Thanksgiving. His goal is to provide more than 150 families with enough food to feed them for 2 more months. Ross is working with apartment complexes on the east side of Indianapolis to find people in need who may be behind on rent or have multiple children. And their work as a whole does not stop with handing out food.
Figure out what the need is so we get to the root causes so they can become financially stable, so they won't have to depend on these resources every single year.
So far, 50 volunteers have signed up to help Ross deliver the food this upcoming Saturday. They'll be going door to door. Of course, they'll be wearing their PPE.
And an annual Thanksgiving race is still on this year and in person. Organizers of the Drumstick Dash say they've taken the proper precautions to hold a safe race. They had to submit a risk mitigation plan to the health department. That race typically registers about 20,000 people a year. This year it will be reduced to 20% capacity. 3,000 people will be allowed to run at a time with 2 different start times. People can also start whenever they want to avoid crowds, and there won't be any water stations along the path. Organizers say it's important to continue this event because it's a fundraiser for Wheeler Mission.
It's more critical this year to have this event because it does raise critical funds for those experiencing homelessness. And our numbers are real. We're seeing high numbers already early in the season.
Well, if you don't feel comfortable running with the crowds, a virtual option is also available. We have more information on the WRTV mobile app. A great event every year, Todd.
Yeah, and that is the biggest fundraiser for the entire year for the Wheeler Mission. So just because you hear only 3,000 people, can run, I would really encourage you to buy a bib, buy an entry, and then just do the run on your own and support that great cause that we have here in Indy, even though we all can't be together. Over 20,000 people now usually run that Drumstick Dash each and every year. It's all about the wind here today. If you're going to be out there running, make sure you got the tailwind. You'll increase your speed here. Wind advisory will go into effect at 10 a.m. Wind speeds will pick up here throughout the course of the morning hours. And throughout the afternoon, they'll be gusting anywhere from about 35 to 45 miles per hour. Wouldn't be shocked to see a few 50-mile-per-hour gusts throughout the afternoon. And then once we get to the evening hours, slowly the winds will start to subside across the area, but definitely going to be a very, very windy day for us. Temperatures, though, will be nice and mild today and tomorrow as we'll be up into the 60s, and then the cold front comes through and we drop below normal once again heading into next week. As that cold front comes through, a round of rain. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you so much. The Pacers front office burning the midnight oil for their sole draft pick. You'll meet the latest member of the Blue and Gold right after the break. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. New this morning, nearly a dozen abandoned dogs are safe thanks to an observant person. Muncie Animal Care animal control workers rescued the dogs after the passerby noticed the dogs running in a field. Officials say the passerby tried to capture the puppies, but they became scared and they ran into a drainage ditch. Employees say the animals show signs of having little socialization. Muncie Animal Care officials say they need donations now to help care for all of those dogs. For information on how you can help, visit this story on the WRTV app.
Well, happening today, the Trump administration will push forward with its 8th federal execution in Terre Haute. Orlando Hall was convicted of abducting a 16-year-old girl then and sexually and physically assaulting her. Hall then buried the girl in a shallow grave where she died. Family members, lawyers, and prosecutors have raised concerns about the coronavirus. Federal Bureau of Prisons says temperature checks will be required for those witnessing the execution.
So the Pacers front office worked really just late into the night, waiting for their one and only draft pick of the year. Their choice, of course, bringing a Blue Devil now to become a blue and gold member. The Pacers selected Cassius Stanley with the 54th overall pick last night. The 6'6" guard played just a single season in college at Duke University. He averaged 12 points per game and was selected to the ACC All-Freshman team. Originally from Los Angeles, he'll soon call the Circle City home.
I know that there's a new coach, but I also have a lot of family in Indiana, sprinkled out throughout the state. So, I know I'm going to be very comfortable when I get there, and, I'm just ready to go. It was just waiting all night pretty much, and it was just about patience. And so I was very patient, and when the phone called, I was very emotional, and I'm just extremely happy.
We are happy for you, and welcome to Indianapolis. The new NBA season will begin on December the 22nd. The Pacers will learn part of their schedule right after Thanksgiving. And Todd, we're all thinking about Thanksgiving right now, having our bellies full with some good gravy and stuffing and turkey. But first, we have to deal with the wind, right?
Yeah. It's been a really windy week when you think about it, Raphael. We started Sunday off with a wind advisory. We had wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour in spots. It was still breezy on Monday. Got a little bit of a break yesterday, but here comes the wind once again. A wind advisory will go into effect at 10 a.m. here this morning throughout the afternoon hours as we get these wind gusts up into the 50 mile per hour range throughout much of the afternoon and even into the early hours of the evening. So you just have to kind of prepare yourself. We've been through this many times here. There could be some minor power outages with these winds and maybe some small limbs coming down. And of course, the garbage cans or patio furniture can get blown away, but most people probably have their patio furniture in by now. So I don't think it's going to cause any widespread damage, but definitely something that's going to be an inconvenience for us here going throughout the day. Now, it's a southerly wind, and that's what's keeping temperatures in the 40s this morning in most locations. Couple 50s out there as well. 52 in Lafayette, 51 in Greencastle, and highs today will be going all the way up into the low to mid 60s, and that's going to put us anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees above normal temperature-wise. So you can't complain about that at all here in mid to late November, but the wind will make it feel a little bit cooler. Skies will be mostly sunny throughout the day. Maybe a brief period where skies are partly cloudy later on this afternoon. You just see a little bit of high thin cloud cover out there this morning, and that is just about it. And you don't have to worry about any precipitation in this forecast until the tail end of the weekend. If you have plans this evening, just gotta, plan on the wind still being around this evening. 5:26 is sunset. Skies will be partly cloudy with temperatures in the mid 50s. Now tomorrow, not a bad day. The wind will continue to diminish throughout the day tomorrow. It's probably a little more in the way of cloud cover around for your Friday as we end the work week, but temperature wise, we're in pretty good shape. Once again, going up into the low 60s for your afternoon high. The change is going to arrive this weekend. Saturday, mostly cloudy, and most of the day is dry. The showers come in late in the day at 56. Sunday, periods of rain as the cold front comes through, and a temperature right around 51 degrees. The cold front is going to come through during the morning hours on Sunday into the early afternoon, and then the colder air is going to start to come in. The rain should be done, I would think, early afternoon on Sunday, but we could see some decent rainfall totals with this across parts of central Indiana, as many areas could see up to an inch, maybe a little more than that, as it will be fairly steady, it looks like, late Saturday night into early on Sunday morning. And then once that front goes through, I mentioned those cooler temperatures. Highs will be in the 40s as we start off Monday and Tuesday, with low temperatures that will be down near freezing. In fact, on Monday morning, it's not out of the question, Lauren, if there's enough moisture lingering over, there actually even could be a few flurries.
Oh, all right, Todd, thank you so much. So you may wonder, are people seriously still using 123456 as their password? Well, indeed, they still are. According to the internet security company NordPass, which released the list of the most popular passwords, the most common one is 123456. And the second most popular along the same lines, but the numbers go from 1 to 9. Other passwords in the top 20 include Picture 1, Password, ABC123, and I love you. Experts say 123456 has been breached over 23 million times. So, Raphael, you may want to change your password right now.
Change your password. I never got a choice to do the easy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They always ask for all those letters and numbers and that stuff. So they make it hard here at WRTV and Scripps, which is a good thing, keeping us safe, right? The post-Thanksgiving deals are a little more than a week away. Lauren, are you ready? I'm sure you are. Still ahead, we're working for you by helping you score some extra savings on those great deals right here on WRTV. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. So Cyber Monday, right, is a little more than a week away. Our partners at The List, which airs every day here on WRTV at 7:30, are breaking down ways that you can save some extra cash.
The online shopping extravaganza known as Cyber Monday is a day for deals and discounts.
The data shows us that year after year, more and more people are taking part in Cyber Monday.
Bethany Hollers, a money-saving expert from BrickSeek.com, has some tips to maximize Cyber Monday savings. First, use a cashback site.
This is regardless of whether or not it's Cyber Monday or a random Thursday in July. If you are not starting your shopping trip at a cashback site like Rakuten or Top Cashback, you're leaving money on the table.
These sites partner with hundreds of retailers, helping you save on your entire purchase or individual items.
Maybe you'll save 2% on clothing, but you might save 5% on a home decor purchase. So you can click through and select the retailer that you're going to be shopping at, and it will tell you exactly what you're going to save depending on what you buy.
And on Cyber Monday,
a lot of those retailers will increase the percentage back that they're giving, sometimes even doubling or tripling the normal amount.
Next, abandon your shopping cart.
A few days before Cyber Monday, go to the retailer that you're planning on shopping on Cyber Monday. Make sure that you log into your account, you pick out what it is that you're going to buy, add it to your shopping cart, and start the checkout process.
But when it's time to enter your payment information,
log out of your account, X out of the window, and abandon your shopping cart 90% of the time. Within 2 to 3 days, that retailer is going to email you with a special offer to try and entice you to complete your purchase. Maybe it's a coupon code for 10 or 15% off, or it's a promo code for free shipping.
Finally, shop incognito.
Retailers and brands nowadays, they are experts at tracking you. They track your browsing history, they track your purchase history.
To avoid being tracked, open a private browser.
That masks the way that you shop online.
Retailers will think it's your first time visiting their site.
And what might end up happening is that you will be offered a deal if it's maybe a pop-up on the website itself that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
We're keeping our piggy banks full with Cyber Monday savings.
All right, great tips there as people kind of prepare for that Cyber Monday. And as we get into next week, the weather's going to get a little bit cooler. So maybe just staying inside and doing some shopping is the way to go. This morning, winds are starting to pick up across the area. These are sustained winds right now, anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour. Gusts are a little bit higher. The wind will continue to increase throughout the day today. And a wind advisory will go into effect here by mid-morning and continue into the evening hours with gusts to 50 miles per hour. But the good news out of all of this is it's a southerly wind, and that's going to take our high temperature today up to 65 degrees, putting us about 10 to 15 degrees above normal. I mentioned the cooler weather for next week. That's because a cold front is heading our way with maybe quite a bit of rainfall as well. We'll detail it for you coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues here at the top of the hour. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.